Good afternoon, Mets fans, and happy Friday, and happy start of the second half of baseball. Tonight, the Mets are scheduled to kick off the second half against the Colorado Rockies, and the weather does not look good. Not look promising for the game tonight. Calling for showers all night long in New York. As you can see, it's raining here in Pennsylvania as well, and we have a similar forecast. So a rainy day, but for this Mets fan, the clouds are going to be lifted. That's right. I am predicting, perhaps foolishly, the second half of the season will be significantly different, in a better way, than the first half of the season. So it's been a full week since I've recorded a Driving with Mr. Met video. I couldn't bring myself to do it over the All-Star break. I think I needed the All-Star break as much as the Mets did. A couple of things to touch on that have happened since the last video. Number one, Bartolo Colon does not sign with the Mets. Very sad. I was really hoping for a reunion, but I can't blame Bart. He wanted the opportunity and the guarantee to make the starts he would need to make in order to overtake Juan Marichal's record for wins by a Dominican-born pitcher. And again, I can't take that away from Bart. So good luck to him in Minnesota. Hopefully he gets his starts, and hopefully he's able to pitch better than he did in Atlanta, which I think we'll all agree was atrocious for Colon. That's number one. Number two, the Home Run Derby. I gotta say, I've never really been a huge fan of the Derby in the past. I've always felt it was a little boring and tedious and long, but this year was great. I thought it was terrific. I've made some comments over the last few days about Aaron Judge, and I want to be clear, I have nothing against Aaron Judge. I think the kid is fantastic. He seems like he's a great human being. He's got a good head on his shoulders. The problem I have is with MLB's anointing him the new face of baseball. The kid's been in the league for really 4 months, or 5 months, something like that. He's yet to play a complete season, and I'm just saying that MLB should really be thinking more about a little bit of longevity here before they start crowning this kid the next big thing. Meanwhile, if you're searching for the next face of baseball, and I hate to agree with Bryce Harper, but Harper, when he was being interviewed on field during the All-Star game, which by the way I thought was really cool, that Fox interviewed Harper and Springer during the game. But what Harper had said was basically like, there's 20 new faces of baseball out here right now. This All-Star game is filled with young, exciting players. And for me, I look at a guy like Nolan Arenado in Colorado, who has been a terrific third baseman for well over 6 months. He's put together MVP caliber seasons 3-4 years in a row now. He's a Gold Glover at third base. He's an exciting young player. He just doesn't play in New York. He's not a Yankee. And so that's my issue with Aaron Judge, that MLB has strapped the rocket on his back, and I don't want to say that he hasn't earned it, but he hasn't earned it. I hope he does. I really do. Like I said, I think the kid's a great kid, but anyway, it is what it is. Number three, the All-Star game. Unlike the Home Run Derby, the All-Star game was not exciting, but it was a good game, very well pitched game. And the Mets lone representative did well for himself. Conforto played a couple of innings in left field, ended up going 1 for 2, struck out in a very key, potentially game-winning or game-deciding at-bat. But these guys are facing the best pitchers in baseball. Mr. New Face of MLB, Aaron Judge, was 0 for 3. So Confo should be glad about the fact that he went 1 for 2 rather. And hopefully this is not his last All-Star game, and that he's representing the Mets there for years to come. On to the second half. I said that I think we're going to have a good second half, and I truly believe, not just because I'm a crazy positive Mets fan, but because I do think that this team has enough talent that if they can all get healthy at the same time, they can go on a run. And in order for the Mets to do anything of significance in the second half, they are going to need a stretch where they win like 10 out of 11 games. They're going to need to do that. And it's going to need to happen against teams that aren't just bottom of the barrel teams. They're going to have to do it against teams against which they're competing for the wild card spot or even the division spot. So that means they're going to have to start that tonight or tomorrow, depending on when they play, against Colorado. The Mets are chasing the Rockies. So what better way to prove that the Mets are not gonna kind of go away quietly into the night in 2017 than to take it to the Rockies and take 3 games in this series? Tall task. The Rockies have a tremendous offense, but the Mets, on paper, have a tremendous pitching staff. They'll have DeGrom, Matz, and Lugo going tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And again, there's no reason to think that these guys can't pitch well enough to earn 3 wins. Who knows what's going to happen in the second half? You know, the last 2 years, things did not look peachy the whole time for this team. So it isn't like they ran away with things in 2015 or 2016. They had stretches where they were brilliant, and in both seasons, 2015 and 2016, they had stretches where they looked awful, and they still ended up going to the playoffs in both years. So I know the odds are very strongly against the Mets turning this thing around, okay? They're going to need to win something like 2 out of every 3 games effectively, like 2/3 of their games. Is it doable? Sure. Is it likely? Don't know. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, and I think that anyone who's a Mets fan and who's watched this team over the last 2 years, like him or not, Terry Collins has been at the helm both of these seasons, and the team has turned the season around at some point. Is that going to happen this year? I maintain that it will. What do you think? Am I nuts? Probably. I mean, the answer is more than likely probably that I am nuts. But I am optimistic, and I want to hear from you guys about it. So if you're not already doing so, follow me on Twitter at Mr_Met. That's MISTER_MET. Let me know your thoughts there or below in the comments section. As always, I thank you for watching the video, and as we kick off the second half, I gotta say it, let's go Mets.